What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what's really happening, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid right now is down 2.04%, 255 the low, 272 the high. 53.4 million shares being traded, 36.5 is the average. So a fairly high amount of volume, especially for it being a Friday. But even on the secondary market, you are seeing the number of transactions really up there. So that's kind of a good thing. So somewhat mixed buying and selling, but still goes to show that at least some big money is paying attention to Lucid. And no official news today associated to Lucid. So last news was just the bombs that they did drop the last day. So it wasn't necessarily the best. Even on social media, they have gone relatively quiet. And I think that's kind of the right thing to do, right? You don't really drop this big of news and then just start hyping people up. That's not how you do it. So I think they're doing the right thing by being relatively quiet, but there was this document that was submitted to the SEC, both a prospectus and a 8K. The only real change is this blurb right here that kind of highlighted. So that affiliate has agreed to purchase a additional 21 million over and above what was previously stated, which was that 374 mil. So you're still having that whole amount that is being done through Bank of America, and through Bank of America, they also have the right to do that 30-day increase. And then you have that 37.4 through the affiliate of the PIF, and they want to buy another 21. So in reality, that could be one of the attributing factors why it did go down to this amount right here. But at this stage in the game, I think investors are just so tired and are just ready for now Lucid just to get the damn job done. It is what it is. 21 mil, why not just make 100 mil? Like it doesn't really matter at this stage in the game. Just Lucid needs to really get their shit together. My apologies on the French. And so I think that is even so much more important, their upcoming earnings. And Lucid and just Peter need to make sure they say all the right words, and more specifically, like, get the Gravity out. Do not say it's delayed, say it's on time, and do everything that you need to do. Like Peter, sleep on the floor at the facility. Make sure it gets done. I think that's what literally needs to happen. Need to show a little bit more commitment coming from management, but again, what do I know, right? Aside from that, with the recent somewhat mixed data this morning coming from building permits, you now have this back at 92. So it briefly was down to, I think, like, what was it, 30 yesterday, or might have been 60, I can't remember exactly, but it's regardless up today. So the likelihood for a 25 basis point cut for the November 7th meeting has once again popped back up. So generally good stuff, because a lot of the data aside from today has been relatively strong, even coming out from China. So on a global front, everything is looking a-okay. And even right now, the fear and greed index is under the greed category, possibly even pushing to the extreme greed near the tail end of the day today, or maybe early next week. So people's appetite for risk is very much on the table. So as of today, I guess if you want to think of a positive, now the market has really factored in everything Lucid just disclosed. So kind of the lower revenue as well as all the crazy dilution, now that is built into the stock price. So essentially you can kind of look forward, be bullish, bearish, whatever floats your boat at this stage in the game. And based on their upcoming earnings, over the last 90 days, there has been 0 positive and 2 negative revisions. This is kind of what analysts are currently forecasting. So negative 32 cents for the earnings per share, 193.7 mil for the revenue, but clearly that was instantly adjusted because Peter announced, or I guess Lucid announced, that it was going to be like, what was it, the 190 to 200 or 199 or something like that. So yeah, interesting time. One thing that did come out though, just popping over to IBKR, there was a new analyst rating. So my last video, I talked on how 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 and Adam Jonas did give ratings. So that was a $3 sell and a $4 hold, but there is 2 other ones that did pop up. I don't know why they don't come in all at the same time. But Bank of America, $3.40 price target. John Murphy, who has a 55% success rating. And on a side note, in case you guys are new to Lucid, John Murphy was one of the biggest bulls in Lucid. So when Lucid was at like it like 50s, if I remember correctly. They were given like $40 price targets. Like I think it started actually at 45, lowered down to 40. They've been lowering like throughout many like almost the last 3 years. So been not the most accurate, but beside the point, I think $3.40 still is rather low, but we'll just have to wait and see. And then you did have CFRA Garrett, who has a 57% success rating, gave a $2 price target. So once, like I said, all this is really influencing the stock price as well. So aside from all that, quickly popping back over here, going over shorts. Shorts surprisingly are taking advantage of, I guess, the volatility and returning 2.31 million shares. So it is rather sad to see the fact that shorts are able to return that amount without it really influencing the stock price whatsoever. And they are fairly active today, so just be kind of keep that in mind. This 2.31 million is net, but 28.53% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 255.75 million shares. Cost to borrow average 13.12. Utilization is 97.7, and then short score is 85.95. So the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. And I'm definitely not here to say that Lucid is going to squeeze or anything like that, because shorts have been all over Lucid for a while now, a very long time, and that has not really amounted to a squeeze. But moving over to options, 1.01 million in calls, 4.72 million in puts. So kind of low dollar value in comparison to the last several trading days, but majority of all the options being done are rather neutral. And of the call options that are being purchased, you do see consensus for it to be roughly around that $3 range. And then looking at puts, more you see a lot of bearishness. So sub 250 is anticipated, and even for the November 15th, so that would be a week after their earnings, there's some people anticipating sub $1.50. So clearly more of a miss associated to Lucid's upcoming earnings. But no matter what though, options is just merely a sentiment. It does not move the stock price. But moving on from here though, with it currently at $2.64, it is trading between these 2 points, so this S2 and this S1, so kind of flirting with this pivot point right here. So 265, definitely watch for it to close hopefully above that, but as of right now, 265 is going to be that resistance point, and then 272, which it kind of did bounce off of this pivot right here of 274. But yeah, a lot of volatility. Just anticipate that in the foreseeable future with Lucid, and it will all come down onto their upcoming earnings. If Lucid says the right things, does the right things, we'll just, yeah, it's going to be a fun old time. But aside from that, like their technicals, it's hard to really go over this because it's just fully broken. Even leading into them disclosing that, it was showing a lot of signs that it was going to break, but I think just with that news, it just escalated it so much more. Stochastic, you do see a very bearish deviation, but it is oversold. So if Lucid, let's say, was to announce maybe a strategic partnership or Gravity or something along those lines, then you could see a rush of value investors. Not saying it'll get to $4 or whatever, but at least it will kind of move it a little bit higher. But number of retail investors, you can tell, are very frustrated with what has happened because they got the hell out. Even today, they're not really buying the dip all that much. So yeah, let me know you guys' thoughts on Lucid. Have you guys been buying? Have you been selling? What have you guys been doing? And do you guys have any expectations for Lucid's upcoming earnings that they need to really state for you to still remain bullish with Lucid? So yeah, what's your thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. 2 things, even though Lucid isn't doing all that great, you can get 8 free shares. Each share is valued up to $2,000. So this is a kick-ass deal that you must take advantage of. And point number 2, I did launch memberships. So if you're looking for a lot of good kind of buy signals on stocks and options, or if you just want to support the channel, there's tiers for both of those. So don't forget to take a look at that. With that said, appreciate all of you guys watching.